Hi, this is Jo Karen Hudson speaking today. I'm going to talk to you about solving equations by factoring. First, let's discuss a property, the zero factor property. If the product of two factors is 0, then one of the factors must be 0. In other words, if you have a times b equals 0, then either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. And we'll use this property in solving equations by factoring. 4 rules for solving equations by factoring. The first rule is to get 0 on one side of the equal sign and everything else on the other side. 0 has to be on one side. Factor completely is number 2. Number 3 is to set each factor equal to 0. Number 4 is to solve for the variable. And number 5 is to check your work. So let's start with example 1. Now, on example 1, we already have 0 on one side and everything else on the other. And this problem is already factored for you, so we'll just set the factors equal to 0. 2x plus 7 equal to 0, and x minus 9 equal to 0. We need to subtract 7, so we have 2x is equal to negative 7. Dividing by 2, we'll have x is equal to negative 7 halves. There's our first solution. And if we add 9 to both sides, we'll have x is equal to 9 for our second solution. Checking our work, we'll have to check both of the answers. Plugging in the negative 2 halves first, we have 2, which would be 2 over 1, times negative 7 halves, plus 7, and then we have negative 7 halves minus 9 equal to 0. And the 2 times the negative 7 halves, the 2's will cancel out and just give us negative 7 plus 7 times negative 7 halves minus 9 equals 0. And of course this turns into 0. Negative 7 plus 7 turns into 0 times this other thing, which we don't even need to worry about, because anything times 0 is 0, so we have 0 equals 0, and the first one checks. So let's check the second one. 2 times 9 plus 7 times 9 minus 9 equals 0 would give us 2 times 9 is 18 plus 7 is 25 times 0 is equal to 0. And 25 times 0 is 0, so 0 is equal to 0. And the 9 checks as well. Going on to the second example. This one already has our 0 on one side. It is factored already. So we just set the factors equal to 0, x is equal to 0, and 7x plus 3 is equal to 0. So our first solution is already found. Our second solution will subtract 3 from both sides. We'll have 7x is equal to negative 3. Dividing by 7, we'll have x is equal to negative 3 over 7. So we have two solutions. They are 0 and negative 3 over 7. Our section is on solving equations by factoring. So let's remember about factoring. When we multiply, the coefficient of the squared term is 1. When we multiply 1 times 21, 1 times 21, it gives us 21. So this breaks down into 1 times 21 and 3 times 7. And we want the pair that adds up to 22, so it has to be this pair. This would tell us that the signs are alike, and this would tell us that they're both negative. So we're going to write it as 4 terms. P squared minus 1p minus 21p plus 21 is equal to 0. So pairing them up 2 at a time, the first time I'm going to take out the p, and that would leave me with p minus 1, because p times p minus 1 is p squared minus 1p. And then in the second pair, I'm going to take out negative 21, and that would leave us with p minus 1. Negative 21 times p is negative 21p. Negative 21 times negative 1 is plus 21. So now the p minus 1 comes out of both of them, and I'll group together what's left, which would be p minus 21. Setting my factors equal to 0, I have p minus 21 equal to 0, p minus 1 equal to 0, and p minus 21 equal to 0. Adding 1, I'll have p is equal to 1. Adding 21, I'll have p is equal to 21. So I have my two solutions, and they are 1 and 21. Example 4. M squared minus 4m. I'm going to need to bring the 21 over and make it negative 21 is equal to 0. And now I notice that the squared term has a coefficient of 1, but 1 times negative 21 is negative 21, so that when I break it up, I'll have 1 times 21, 3 times 7, and I want a pair that gives me a difference of 4, so it's going to have to be this pair, and I want it to turn out negative, so it's going to be negative 7 and positive 4. So let's see, I like to write the negative one first. M squared minus 7m plus 3m minus 21 equals 0. And you see my negative 7 and my positive 3 gives me my negative 4 in the middle, so that's right. So factoring m out of the first pair, I want to take out an m, and that will leave me with m minus 7. And out of the second pair, I'll take out a 3, and that will leave me with m minus 7. So now they both contain the m minus 7. I'll take it out of both of them and group together the m plus 3 that's left. So I have m minus 7 equals 0 and m plus 3 equals 0. Adding 7, I'll have m equals 7, and subtracting 3, I'll have m equals to negative 3. So I have my two solutions, and you will write them as 7 comma negative 3. Example 5. This one looks like a difference of two squares when we factor it. Let's see, 25 is 5p squared. 5p times 5p makes 25p squared. And 64 is 8 squared. So I have 5p squared minus 8 squared equal to 0. So when we factor it, we write the first plus the last and the first minus the last. This being the first, this being the last. It's going to be the first plus the last and the first minus the last. So setting my factors equal to 0, I'll have 5p plus 8 equals 0. 5p minus 8 equals 0. Subtracting 8, I'll have 5p equals negative 8. Dividing by 5, I'll have p equals negative 8 over 5. There's one solution. We're going to have two solutions. Anytime we have p squared, that's the degree of the polynomial. It tells us how many solutions we're going to get. So now we're going to add 8. So we have 5p is equal to 8. Dividing by 5, we'll have p is equal to 8/5. So my two solutions are 8/5 and negative 8/5. Example 6. Example 6, you see, it's been factored, but it's not set equal to 0, so the factoring doesn't count. I'm going to have to multiply it together and just really start over. b times 3b, when I distribute, would be 3b squared plus 8b. When I bring the negative 4 to the other side, it will be plus 4 equals 0. So when I multiply these two together, my AC product, I'll have 3 times 4 is 12. Let's see, 12 is 1 times 12 and 2 times 6 and 3 times 4. But I want it to add together and give me 8. So 2 plus 6 adds up to 8. These are both positive, so everything's positive. We'll have 3b squared plus 2b plus 6b, and you see those add up to our 8b, plus 4 equals 0. So now grouping them or pairing them up two at a time, these two and these two, I'm going to take a b out of the first pair. That will leave me with 3b plus 2. Let's see, 3b squared plus 2b, that's right. Then I'm going to take a 2 out of that next pair. 2 times 3b makes the 6b, and 2 times 2 makes the 4. So now they have the 3b plus 2 in common. So I'm going to group together what's left, which would be the b plus 2. Setting my factors equal to 0, I have 3b plus 2 equal to 0 and b plus 2 equal to 0. Subtracting the 2, I have 3b equals negative 2. Dividing by 3, I have b equals negative 2/3. There's one solution. And subtracting 2 here, I have b equal negative 2. So writing my solutions, I'll have b equals negative 2/3, comma, negative 2. Those are my solutions. Now, as soon as I see number 7, I notice something that looks really different. See, number 7 has cubed in it. Now, when the degree of the polynomial is 3, it has cubed in it, we can expect to get 3 solutions instead of 2. So I already have 0 on one side and everything else on the other side, but I notice that I have a common factor of a. And I'll be left with 25a squared minus 16 equal to 0. But the 25a squared minus 16 factors, it's a difference of two squares. It's 5a squared minus 4 squared. So I'm going to have the first plus the last and the first minus the last. So we'll have 5a plus 4 and 5a minus 4. So now I'm going to set my factors equal to 0. I'll have a equal to 0, 5a plus 4 equal to 0, and 5a minus 4 equal to 0. First solution, a equal to 0. Second solution, I'll have to subtract 4 from both sides. 5a equals negative 4. Dividing by 5, I'll have a is equal to negative 4/5. There's my second solution. My third solution, I'll add 4 to both sides. 5a is equal to 4. Dividing by 5, I'll have a is equal to 4/5. So writing them all three together, I'll separate them with commas. 0, negative 4/5, and 4/5. Those are my three solutions separated by commas. This is Jo Karen Hudson speaking. Thank you and have a wonderful day.